US Senate has voted overwhelmingly to approve a bill to punish Russia and key buyers of its petroleum products, claiming that such trade helps fuel the Ukraine war. The bill, renamed the Lindsey Graham Sanctioning Russia and Iran Act of 2026, was approved by the Senate by an 86-11 vote. It allows President Donald Trump to impose 100% tariffs on goods from countries that are the top 5 importers of Russian oil and gas. Dr. Sharat Kohli, senior economist, joins us this morning. So, appreciate you taking out time speaking to us on NewsX. I do want to understand from you, with this development that is taking place, so how does it impact India at large? What perhaps could India do at this point in time?
Good morning, Sabri, to you and the viewers. It's quite unfortunate that there is this particular initiative being taken by the U.S. government. Lindsey Graham was a senator who died recently, and in his memory, because he was one of the biggest crusaders of sanctions on Russia, so the bill was named after him. This gives powers to the American president to levy up to 100% tariffs on India, China, Slovakia, Hungary, and Azerbaijan. These are the 5 countries. These are the 5 top importers. Now, it's important to note that India, for its own crude oil requirements, is importing, at this point of time, almost 50% of its total requirements from Russia. As far as Russia is concerned, almost 36 to 37% of its crude oil is being exported to India. About 50% goes to China. So I think this will be extremely detrimental to the India-US trade talks, which have been going on for so long now. So much of deliberations have happened, in the US, in India. So many delegations have moved in and out so many times. And just when we were close to getting to a deal with 10% MFN tariffs and 10% Section 301 tariffs for forced labor or whatever that US says. So this is an additional detriment, I would say. This will not help in concluding the deal. And this is going to, further strain the relations between India and US and China. I'll be very surprised if President Trump goes on to use these powers to have 100% tariffs. And it's quite ironical as well. It's a bit of a hypocrisy because US itself is importing so much of Russian materials. On about $2 billion was the last report which came in that US itself was importing, on which President Trump once said, I'm not aware of this. So, it is just the quantum which is bothering the US Senate. Well, there are so many countries which are importing Russian oil, but they just want to punish the top 5 countries. I just fail to understand the logic. What has top 5 got to do? Either you are importing or you are not importing. As far as India is concerned, I think India will act in its own interest. India is a sovereign nation, and I think our own economic and national interests have to be kept in mind. I really don't think India is going to bend down, and the matter will be resolved by dialogue. But let's wait and see, because this enactment gives powers to the US president to levy tariffs. The tariffs are not yet levied yet. We need to keep in mind. If the president goes ahead and levies, it will further, I will say, deter the relationships between the 2 countries.
Right, so absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. We are tracking further updates. The White House has stopped short of saying whether the new Russia sanctions bill will hit trade talks with India. Responding to media in Washington, the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hesed, has said that the matter now rests with the negotiators, offering no further comments on the ongoing discussions. His remarks come as the US Senate has already voted 86-11 to pass the Lindsey Graham Sanctioning Russia and Iran Act, which threatens tariffs of up to 100% on countries buying Russian oil, including India and China. The bill now moves to the House of Representatives for a final vote. Take a listen.
That's up to the negotiators, and I can't give you insight into ongoing. That's up to the negotiators, and I can't give you insight into ongoing. That's up to the negotiators, and I can't give you insight.
Dr. Sharat Kohli continues to be with us on the broadcast. Dr. Kohli, I do want to understand from you, because a couple of months ago, Donald Trump, at least the information that we got was that Donald Trump was quite gung-ho to come to India in early 2027 to hold discussions in, of course, the backdrop of the India-US trade talks that have been taking place. There has been positive indications so far, but with this development coming in, will that take a hit?
I said, Asabri, we just need to wait. Well, the HOR, the House of Representatives, as you just said, they need to pass, but I think that will also sail through. So this bill doesn't immediately impose tariffs on India. It gives powers to the American president to impose tariffs on these 5 countries. Now, he'll be risking. Why I say that? Because let's keep India aside for a moment. What about China? China is the 3rd biggest bilateral trade partner of the U.S. And this is going to cause a classic trade war between U.S. and China. As for India is concerned, India is indispensable for U.S. And I'm sure this will be on President Trump's mind. Let's wait and see. There are 2 more hurdles. One is of course, House of Representatives voting. The Senate has passed. And then, of course, whether President Trump decides to go ahead with this. But it's a bad development, considering that the dialogue between India and the U.S. on the bilateral trade has been going on. And there have been so much efforts made, as I said, and so much has moved forward. Well, India has already signed the bilateral with the EU, with Australia, with the UK, with UAE, with so many countries. It's only with the U.S. that we are facing these impediments. And President Trump will have to keep in mind that these tariffs will further cause inflation in the U.S. because ultimately the tariffs are paid by the people of the U.S. So with the midterm polls in November, and he's lost a primary in Michigan yesterday to El Said, I'm sure this will be counting on his mind. Let's wait and see what stance he takes, Asabri.
Right, so I appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, sharing all your perspectives with us on NewsX. We're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some more breaking news coming in. Pakistan's foreign ministry has said that the pact meant